Hey folks, this is Vincent Natalie with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and welcome to episode 29 of the DGA podcast. I am your host, Vince, and with me by process of elimination is...
Idly.
Idly. Why is that so funny?
But I have to wonder how many people, like, you had to kind of queue up and eliminate in order to get...
Well, I mean, out of two, if I say my name is Vince, then by process of elimination, it has to be you, right?
Oh, okay.
Right?
I thought you were like looking at a list of co-hosts and you're like crossing it out.
No, that's way too deep. I said this is Vince and Ida Lee with Dad's Gaming Addiction.
I see.
I identified myself as Vince, so therefore you must be
Idly.
See, there you go. All right.
Or Vince 2.0.
No. So
my mother said we do look alike.
No.
Okay, anyways.
I don't even know how to respond to that. Okay, so not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole. So this is a continuation of the previous podcast, episode 28, in which we talked about RTS games that we grew up with. We left off with Star Wars Empire at War, and forgive me, I'm going to, I think, advance the next slide. And now we'll talk about this game. What do you think this is? I will go ahead and play once I find it. I'm not sure if that's what this is, really, but... Maybe I labeled it wrong, but that doesn't sound like it. It sounds more... I mean, alright, let me play one that you've heard before. When I think this game, that's what I think, but sure. Alright, what do you think it is?
It's Command & Conquer.
Command & Conquer 3.
Is it really?
It is.
Wow.
Command & Conquer 3. This has to do with aliens. In addition to Nod and GDI, now you've got this alien faction called the Skrin, which was really cool. I mean, they were your typical War of the Worlds aliens, at least some of their units were, where you have these massive tripod units that shot lasers, and that was just, someone clearly loved War of the Worlds. So, the Skrin were introduced as a third faction in this game. It was one of the better Command & Conquers, I think. I quite enjoyed this one. It was typical RTS still, with Tiberium that you were collecting, but yeah, when Kane's Revenge, the DLC, was released for that, it also introduced like a new campaignish style mode where it was like a global domination style thing where you had to just gather money and pay for units, but also take territory. It was kind of cool. I mean, it wasn't as deep as it could have been, but it was still a nice divergence from previous Command & Conquer titles. I guess you've never played this one either. Okay.
I only have the Red Alert.
Red
Command
Alert.
& Conquer.
Okay.
So I was just guessing. I know that Command & Conquer has a ton of games out there, so I figured if I said Command & Conquer, it'd be right, and apparently it was.
Clearly. Yeah, clearly.
Wow.
Good. You have a 3 in 50 chance of guessing correct on that. Anyway, so we'll just move on to the next game. We're going to try and blow through. We still have 30 entries to go. So, and some of these I really don't feel like talking about because I really didn't play them as much as I would have liked to. This one I'll just play. Is that even working? Let me skip ahead. It's a very mellow title screen music, apparently. There's no way you're gonna get this.
I got it.
Take a guess.
It is Egyptian Starcraft Command & Conquer.
Yes. No. It's a game called Empire Earth 3, like Tiberium Wars Command & Conquer 3, that was released in 2007. I liked Empire Earth and its titles because it started you off from, like in Rise of Nations, it started you off at like the lowest technology, and there was like 10 tiers to it where you just kept leveling up. So Empire Earth was one of those rise through the civilization style RTS games that a lot of other RTS games didn't do. But I didn't play this for as much as I would have liked. So I'll just skip past that. Next one, I'll go ahead and play the music. I don't know what that's doing there. Any guesses?
World War Empire Earth.
No. So there's one giveaway here. This particular RTS title is known for this particular unit. Look at, do you see, it's kind of hard to see probably for you, but there's a giant spider monkey looking robot shooting a laser.
Okay.
On the right. That is indicative of a particular unit that is very popular in this particular...
Supreme Commander?
It is Supreme Commander, yes. You're probably used to the second one. Supreme Commander 1, which is what you're seeing here, also released in 2007, was a bit more involved. Of the two titles, Supreme Commander is actually the more complicated of the two. Supreme Commander 2 took a step back, and Supreme Commander was a bit more involved. Namely, you had, say, Tier 1 engineers, Tier 2 engineers, Tier 3 engineers. Like, you actually had to build the next tier building to then produce the next level engineer so that they then could produce the next level building. Like, it was pretty complicated. At least to me, it was a lot more involved. Another thing Supreme Commander did was the free movement of the camera, where you could just zoom in and out as you wanted to. When you zoomed out, you saw the icons moving around. When you zoomed in, it was free. It was some RTS games, when you zoom out, there's like a brief, I don't want to call it a loading screen, but it's like a brief like blackness, and then it has to load. In this game, everything was just free. Like, it was so smooth. So that's one of the reasons why Supreme Commander, I think, was so successful. It revolutionized the camera, and it gave a lot of depth to the game.
I've only ever played the second one, so I have no idea the first one entailed.
If I have the first one in my library, my suggestion is give it a shot, at some point. But it's not... I still like the second one better because it is easier to play, and that's mainly because I don't have a whole lot of time on my hands, so I have to, like, pick and choose my battles, you know what I mean? All right, so we'll move on to the next one. I'll go ahead and play the sound clip for that. Betting Mother Russia. You do a better Russian accent than I do.
I figured it had something to do with Russia. Or Soviet.
Soviets, yes. Yep. So, any guesses?
This is the Cold War.
The Cold War. It's close. The Soviet Union. Mother Russia. In Mother Russia, Red Alert chooses you.
Oh, so this is Command and Conquer?
Red Alert 3. Yes. Again, the Red Alert series were the more goofy, I want to call them. A lot of them, like, for example, time travel. Like, what happens if Einstein goes back in time and shoots Hitler? Oh, now you've got a completely different... now Russia and the United States are warring. Russia's now the big superpower that the U.S. has to contend with. Oh, and now here comes Japan. There was a DLC, I think. I don't remember what it was, but
Is this Uprising? Command and Conquer Red Alert 3 Uprising?
It may be. Okay. Uprising may be one of the DLCs. I don't remember the official title, but it was 2008.
Okay, because this is the one that I have.
Really?
And I only played 2 hours of it. 2.1 hours, and I don't remember because it was so long ago. It was 2014 the last time I played it.
Oh, looking at your Steam library, are you?
Yeah, 7 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Jeez.
Back when we were kids.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next title. Let's go ahead and get... Any guesses?
Other gunship.
That's close. I mean, I can see why you might think that. This what you're looking at there is a capital ship. Think Star Trek Armada 3 mod. A game. This is
Sins of the Solar Empire.
Yes, there are two entries to Sin. There's Sins of a Solar Empire, which was released back in 2008, and then the second one, which I guess we'll just skip when we get there, is Sins of a Solar Empire Rebellion, which is like the remake to it, 2012. But yeah, this game was okay. I didn't really care about the lore or the factions. What I did like was the whole economic side of this, where the map was broken up into different solar systems, and you captured the planet there, and you gained resources. There was the yellow resource and the purple resource. Their name's escaping me right now, mainly because I played the Sins the mod, the Star Trek 3 Armada mod. In that case, it's like dilithium and something else. But anyway. I like the fact that the game has capital ships and cruisers and regular destroyers, smaller ships or whatever, and, you know, each faction did something unique, but I love the Star Trek Armada 3 mod. It adds so much more to the game. I only play this RTS game because of that mod. I would play it more if I had time, but I don't. You've played Sins before, in general?
I have. It's pretty good. I actually really liked it. I remember running it on my laptop a while back, and my laptop was such crap, and I was so shocked that I could actually run it on my laptop.
Okay.
So that was actually kind of cool. It was one of the games that I played when I didn't have anything else.
I see. All right.
I'm not.
Put that on the box.
No. That's not even what I meant. It is a good game. I liked it. It's a good RTS.
Mm-hmm.
Even without the mod, I actually like it without the mod too.
I do too, but I like it with the mod 300% better. The next one, I do not have a clip for because it's copyrighted. But we've covered this game already. And it's a town builder game where you're using ships to transport resources from one.
Age of Empires?
No, from one island to the next. It's less combat and more economic.
Transport Tycoon?
No. It's Anno 1404, released in 2009. 1701 was 2006, 1404 was 2009. Same deal. I've already explained it in the previous podcast, so I'm not going to rehash what I said. But Anno remains one of the strongest economic RTS games, I feel. There's still a bit of combat there, but primarily it's resource chaining and resource production and manufacturing and stuff. So that's, from time to time, I like to dive into that. So let's just keep things moving.
For the record, I never played any of the Anno games before.
Really?
I'd like to, eventually.
Makes sense. This one I don't think you'll ever get, but... Sure. Go. What is it?
Metroid 2000.
No. So, wrong. This is a game that no longer exists. It was released in 2009. It's called Battleforge. EA made this game of all things. I believe it was EA, 99% sure. And this is a card RTS where you earned cards as you played, and then you put the cards onto the field to summon these units. You would move the units around and complete objectives. Unfortunately, it went the way of the dodo.
Ooh.
It's a game... I do believe a fan remade this game. I don't think it's called Battleforge. It might be like a remastered... I don't know what it's titled, but... I'll have to see if I can find it. But yeah, someone bothered to remake this idea. Whether or not they had the IP to do it or whatever, I don't know. But yeah, Battleforge. Probably something you've never heard of, but It was good for its day, I think.
I like the whole card system. I think that's kind of cool.
It is. It was a really cool idea, in my opinion. You should get this one. Let me go ahead and play the...
Hyper!
Yes. So... Alright, let me stop that. So, Creeper. You know Creeper World, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so the first one was released in 2009. Never owned it, but I played the demo. This is back when I was poor, mind you. Okay? And I couldn't afford anything. I played the demo just over and over. 2009-ish, I was still... What was I doing in 2009? I don't even know anymore. I think this was still like pre-career. Anyway, Creeper World, I played the demo repeatedly. This is a game where you've got this blue creep, the enemy. It's just this big pool of water goo thing. And it just oozes across the map. And then there's levels, vertical levels to it. To the map, and the water or the goo will rise up, and it's your job to build turrets to combat the goo and to fight it back. And I love it, like when you fire a mortar, for example, one of your mortar turrets, and it goes into the goo and the water just ripples and it splits, but it also does damage to it. So you're not battling RTS units individually, but you're battling this massive force. And I loved that idea. You earned resource in this game is energy by putting energy collectors around the map. So the further you spread around the map, the more money you typically made, but also the more you spread yourself thin and the more defenses you need. So it's like a catch-22 that way. Creeper World had several sequels and the like. I don't know if I actually have them on here. I'm looking ahead and I don't. So I think we'll just cover all of them now. Creeper World 2 I've never played. It was different though. Creeper World 3 is more akin to Creeper World 1, and then Creeper World 4 was a 3D version of it. So I think 3 is still one of the best ones, just because the amount of levels in that game, I think it was called Arc Eternal. But it's just, there's so many levels and so many things you can do with it. The 3D one, Creeper World 4, is fantastic, don't get me wrong. I recommend 3 or 4 to anybody. It's just a really fantastic strategy game. You've played Creeper. What do you think?
I loved the third one. I think I did play the fourth one a bit, but the third one has so much content. It's ridiculous how many hours you can get off of it. It's unbelievable. And it's super fun. It's really addicting. And I never thought it was an RTS, but I guess it is. Well,
it's real time. I mean, yeah, you can tactically pause, but in theory, time is moving at a regular rate, and you're strategizing, trying to figure out where to... It's not your standard RTS. You don't have a town hall, and you don't have barracks, and you don't have whatever. But you do, in essence, are fighting in real time against this looming threat. So, I mean, it's more base defense, I guess, but still real-time strategy. Okay, so next up is a game that you should be familiar with. Let me just go and play a clip. Probably not very helpful.
Is this Rise of Nations?
No, but
I
might cook it. Yes.
Majesty? Yeah, okay. It
Majesty
was
2.
Or Majesty, okay.
Yeah, I've never played Majesty 1. Majesty 2 was released in 2009. This is a game where you do not have direct control over your peasants. Rather, you put the buildings down, and it's a base defense because the game throws stuff at you constantly. So it's more of a puzzle, in my opinion. How do you build... And it's also a lot of RNG. If you don't build in the right way, and you don't... And luck isn't on your side, you'll get swamped and killed. People have replayed the same level over and over again, trying to get past a particular nasty RNG. Like, will this nasty thing spawn here? If it does, you might as well start over, because you can't do anything about it. In this game, you basically hire heroes. You build like a barracks that attracts regular warriors, an archery range which attracts rangers and other, like there's clerics and mages and dwarves, different classes of people. You can build an inn, towers, but primarily they earn you money, but you assign flags in the environment, and then they go out and do the jobs, assuming that you've put enough of a bounty on that flag for them to make it worth their while. So rather than have direct control and, tell people where to go, you kind of nudge them in the right direction, assuming that you make it worth their while to do so. You've played this before. Is there any opinion on this?
I did. I actually liked the game. I thought it was pretty fun.
Difficult.
It is a little difficult. But it's not my favorite.
It's not my favorite either, but I love the idea. If it were easier, if it had an easy mode and it was more accessible, I would play it way more often. I want a Majesty 3 with multiple difficulty settings and the ability to, like, a randomized skirmish. In Majesty 2, everything was scripted campaign. I want a randomized skirmish thing with this concept. There is a game that we may talk about later if it's on my list that has a similar style to this. Actually, let me look ahead and see if it's actually on here. It may not be. It's not.
Uh-oh.
You know which one I'm talking about?
No.
It's called Driftlands, The Magic Revival.
Oh, I have that on my list.
Okay, well, we'll talk about it when we get to it then. Okay. Next up, we have this game. This is a game I played a crap ton of. For the Emperor!
Star Wars?
No, I'll give you a hint. Hercron loves this series.
Artifact.
No, I'll give you another hint. It's got a game in the series Warhammer, yes. It's like, I was just about to say, there's a game in the series like Left 4 Dead. That was Warhammer Vermintide. But anyway, this game is... go back to my list, because I'm drawing a blank right now. Warhammer 40k Dawn of War 2, 2009. Like Majesty 2 is 2009.
Wait,
this one? I do. It's a squad management game where you assign, I think it's 4 people to a squad, and it's similar to a game like Commandos, where you're moving them around the map, just destroying things as an RTS. It's a small group of RTS units, and in between levels, you earn gear, sort of like in Borderlands, and you can assign them to different slots and level them up across 4 different categories. And when they reach certain tiers on those categories, they gain new abilities. So you can create, you've got a sniper squad. You can make them stealthy and stuff, or you can make them a sniper, or you can make them like a blow them up style. There's all sorts of different units in this game. There's like, I want to say 8 or so different units, individual units, and they can be customized in different ways to suit your playstyle. So it's a cool game. You've never played this, but it's a pretty cool game.
The only Warhammer thing I've ever played was the Vermintide. That was it.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's a ton of Warhammer games out there. A ton.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking through them right now. You have so many.
I do have a lot.
Oh my gosh.
Well, this one you should get. I'll go ahead and just play it anyway.
Starcraft?
It is. Starcraft 2.
Oh, okay.
So, you know a lot about... You actually probably know more about Starcraft 2 than I do. Have you played all 3 campaigns, or just...
I have. I have not finished the Protoss one, even though I was, like, really close. But it lost the magic, I think, somewhere in the middle. Somewhere probably after the Terran campaign. But I love the story. Oh my gosh, the story is so good. I don't even want to spoil it. But the story of the Terrans and the Zergs were so good in StarCraft 2, but I found the gameplay kind of... It wasn't as captivating as the first one, I think.
Really?
Yeah. I think it was like really zoomed in too much, maybe. Maybe that's what I'm thinking
That is a pain. When I play an RTS game, I like... Supreme Commander has spoiled me. I like being able to zoom out all the way and see the battlefield at a glance, and I can't do that with games like StarCraft and StarCraft 2.
I don't mind it being zoomed in, but as long as there's an option to like zoom out at least a little bit. But I think it zoomed in a little bit too much. But I love StarCraft. Even the second one, I still would play it, you know, until my hands fell off. So
yeah, Wings of Liberty was 2010. That was the first expansion, and there was Heart of the Swarm, I think, and then the Protoss, whatever that was. I could care less about the Protoss, the story behind them anyway. When I think StarCraft, I think Starship Troopers, human versus bug. That's what I think. And when Protoss get involved, I'm like, who cares? So I'm more interested in a believable human versus bug kind of scenario. You know what I mean?
I liked the Protoss story. The lore was pretty good, but it ended up being too convoluted. They brought in way too many characters. StarCraft 2 had like a small group of characters. I mean, StarCraft 1 had a small group of characters. StarCraft 2 expanded it way too much that you kind of got lost in all the mix. And then when the Protoss came into play, it was like, oh my god, there's even like, the lore kind of got convoluted. But I love the idea. I love that there's like an alien that's very intelligent, and I love their futuristic structures. I thought that was really cool.
They have shields and stuff. I like that.
They should have just worked on their story a bit more,
I guess. StarCraft 2 I think what really attracted me to it was the extra content. There was, I don't know what it's called, the arcade store or something, where there were hundreds of mods that people uploaded to the game. Like, I don't remember what the Left 4 Dead equivalent mode was, but there was one Terran mission where during the day you went out and destroyed infected buildings, and then at night the infected came and tried to kill you. Someone made a mod of that, like an in-game StarCraft 2 mod, and made it its own game mode. Oh, wow. And it was much more involved and very enjoyable. It was like, it's not Back 4 Blood, it's not Left 4 Dead, it's something else. And it's like there's hundreds of games like that in this little arcade section of the game. It's really cool that that Blizzard added that onto it. Aside from the campaign, aside from skirmish, you've got this extra mode, in addition to unlocking portraits and all that stuff. So I liked that about StarCraft 2. I think it's definitely worth its weight in terms of money. All right, moving on. Let's go ahead and play a clip for this one, assuming I can find it. Actually, I don't think I have one for this one.
I think I know this. Hold on, wait. This is, oh my gosh. Hold on, I know it. Ash of the Singularity?
No.
Dang it.
This is, I get it. This is the forgotten entry to the series of Command & Conquer. The one that no one liked, Command & Conquer 4. They did away with high population caps and instead focused on your population cap is now 20. So you've got 5 units, and that's all you can build. So now you've got to capture these points. It was stupid. No one liked it. Yeah. I think it had negative reviews on Steam, maybe even worse than that. I'm not going to bother. So we'll move on. I choose to forget that Command & Conquer 4 even exists.
Oh, dang.
Next up, let's go ahead and talk about...
That's the Settlers.
Yes, Ungun. So the Settlers 7... again, that music is also copyrighted, so I was forced to cut the music.
And everything.
Yeah, so the Settler 7, I vaguely remember the Settler 7, but if I remember correctly, the map was broken up into regions, And you had to slowly capture regions and gain resources. An ultimate goal, I think, was there was like 5 objectives across the map, and you had to like complete 3 of them or something. Again, I haven't played this in a very long time. This was back in 2010. What do you remember about this?
I think the Settler 7 was one of my first games, one of my first RTS games after Starcraft. So, yes, and I loved the song. The song was amazing. Even the Unga.
Yeah, Unga.
And we talked about this at length, I think, in another podcast.
Yeah, so we'll skip the rest of it. But anything that you'd like to say before we move on?
It's a fantastic game. I spent many hours on this, and when I completed it, like when I beat everything and I couldn't really play it anymore because there was nothing else to do, I got really sad.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on. Let's see. We got
Supreme Commander.
We've only covered 1. How can there be a third one now?
2.
It is 2. There is no 3.
Is it? Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, this is Supreme Commander 2. As I mentioned, we're not going to talk about it because we've already talked about it, but Supreme Commander 2 was the lighter of the 2. It's more casual, more accessible. There's tech trees. That was cool. 3 factions. Play it. Nolan North. The only thing I didn't like about it was the constant sarcasm in the campaign. Nolan North, a very famous video game voice actor, did the main character's voice, and every sentence uttered from this character is sarcastic. It's just it's cringe. Anyway, but the game is still good. Mm-hmm.
It's weird that like I didn't even recognize it. So that's kind of sad saying that that's one of the games I put many hours into.
Well, it's one screenshot doesn't do it justice.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one you probably can guess based on the history of this.
SimCity.
No. Close. I'd say I can't play a track because, like the previous edition, it'll copyright it.
Something Tycoon? City Mass Transit?
No.
Hold on, wait. Anno 2015.
It's close. 2070.
Oh my god.
Quick note. If you don't know what the year is, just make sure the numbers add up to 9.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember you saying
Anno 1701. 1701 adds up to 9. Anno 1404 adds up to 9. 2070 adds up to 9. Yep.
Why did they choose 9?
I don't know.
It's so weird.
Just saying. Anyway, so we've already covered what Anno is, but yeah, this was the futuristic version of Anno, and it's not bad. You can actually go to the moon and other planets and trade resources back and forth. I played this at length, and it was not bad. There's even a cutaway real-time strategy. You've got 3 or 4 units, use their abilities to get through the entire map and complete objectives. It was repetitive, but it was okay. So there's that. Next, we've already talked about this, so we'll just skip it. Sins of a Solar Empire Rebellion. We've already talked about that. Next up, we've got...
No, not Conquer. Company of Heroes.
Indeed. Yep. Sorry. All right. Sorry. I was listening. I was listening to the soundtrack. I love video game music. Anyway, so Company of Heroes 2, released in 2013. What do you have to say about this?
It's a fun game. It's pretty. Sometimes it can get a little bit repetitive, in the sense that it's just the same old thing, just like going in, finding cover, taking a point. But,
it can be. It's tedious at times because it's very squad based, and very rather than build thousands of units, you have to really take care. These units are typically expensive, these squads, and you need to take care of them. Losing a unit in this game, a squad in this game, can be devastating because of the cost associated with them. Tanks are pretty powerful in this game, but yeah, you've got cover. You've got, like, everything's got a rock, paper, scissors. You know, these units are good against tanks. These units are good against infantry. You know, I love the upgrades. You can attach flamethrowers to these engineers, and I love the different factions too. You've got the British, you've got the Oberkommando West, the regular German army. What else? Americans, and I think one other, Russians. So I love that each one has its own playstyle, and you can even get commanders in there that give you special abilities. But again,
I'm more of the type of person that likes to build millions of troops, and this one you can only have so much. Yeah,
your population cap I think is like 100. But like I said, yes, this is definitely more individual squad-based RTS rather than mass army RTS. It's not a Zerg Rush game. This is tactical.
You have to know your troops.
You like, do, and what they're capable of. And scouting, right?
Yeah.
How to counter.
And, like, I'm not very good at, like, actual war stuff. Like, I'm more into the fantasy type of thing. But, when it comes to, like, the real-life wars and tanks, the names of the tanks, I get so confused, and it all starts looking like the same to me, to be honest, you know? But I like the game. I like playing it with, someone else, or at least with a bot that can, like, go crazy while I just hang back and try to study the troops.
That's a good strategy and learning the game, I think.
Yeah. After how many hours of this? Like hundreds, and then I'm still learning the game.
You're doing fine. We play co-op against the AI all the time, and it's just fun.
Oh boy.
Yeah, but you either annihilation or control the command points to gain, you know, it's like a capture the flag kind of thing.
Yeah, it's pretty decent. Oh, we're on the next one.
We are, but that's okay. Anything else to say about it before we go on?
It's a pretty fun game. I like the loot boxes.
Yeah.
They're like whatever.
I hate the in-game microtransactions on Company Heroes too.
Yes. You
can spend hundreds of dollars, thousands, unlocking commanders. I think it's a crap show. It's stupid. All right. This one? Yes, Cinderella RTS.
Look at all those pumpkins.
Yes, the seven dwarves. Yeah, you can control them. That's Snow White, isn't it?
Yes.
Cinderella's the slippers and the three ugly stepsisters. All right, well, never mind. You can control the three ugly stepsisters, send them off at your opponent. Anyway. Yes, crossover. This is Grey Goo 2015.
Grey Goo! I liked Grey Goo. Why didn't I recognize this? Ugh,
it's not an RTS we play a lot. Because, the AI is pretty brutal, even on easy. Yeah. The game doesn't give you a whole lot of leeway to experiment and try things out. It's pretty brutal. What I really liked about this was the factions. The one faction has to be built, like, everything has to be connected via network, like this pipe network. Another faction, the Grey Goo, their units like start off as these slimes, then they morph into other units and
like Zerg.
Yeah, it's weird. I love the different factions. I think they're really cool, but ultimately, I think the game was too challenging for me to fully enjoy. What did you think of it?
I loved this game. I played this on single player. I played the campaigns. I was having a blast with it. I remember playing this simultaneously with Rebel Galaxy, and I just never had enough time to put a lot of time into one, so I would kind of divide my time, and it was really hard to focus. But I played it, I think, up until the third or fourth campaign.
Okay. Sure. I never beat the campaign. You did more than I did. Kudos to you on that.
Nah, I do want to reinstall it and try it again, because I do like the game.
This one I played a crap ton of.
Polaris.
Nope. We'll skip ahead. Still doesn't help, but... This is Battlefleet Gothic Armada.
Oh, so close.
It's like a Warhammer themed, for lack of a better term, battleship in space kind of game where you have different styles of ships, well, different factions, different styles of ships, but primarily your goal was take them down in this battleship style setting. Broadsides, front cannons, different factions had different ships that could do different things. I played the skirmish mode, not the campaign, where you can level up your profile and unlock new ships and equip them as you see fit. I love that. The second one in the series, not so much, because they took away the progression and just gave it all to you in skirmish. So there's no reason to keep playing it over and over again. You know what I mean? Which is why I don't play the second one as much. But have you played this at all?
Nope, never heard of it.
Okay, I would recommend folks play the first one at least, just to see if they like it.
I think I have seen you play it maybe once or twice, and then I was like, oh, it's too spacey for me, and then I stopped watching.
Okay. Makes sense. Too spacey. Too Kevin Spacey.
Kevin.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. Let me get these. Here we go. Skip ahead. All right. The soundtrack is very dull. All right. So, yes, Ashes of the Singularity. This is a game where you can create hundreds of units and throw them at your opponent. This is very control point-esque where, you know, this control point gives you this resource, this control point gives you this resource. You can build dreadnoughts, medium-sized or small ones, have at it. You can capture, like, these main control points that give you victory points if you want. Or you can just annihilate your opponent either way. You've played Ashes, so what do you think of it?
I love this game. I really do. I love that you can just throw stuff at enemies and you don't really have to study to see what's, like, good or what's bad against what, even though you probably should.
Yeah, you should, but you can totally get away with building one of each and just put it on a repeat loop and then just throw everything at your opponent and let them figure out who to attack who. I mean, I would get destroyed against a PvPer, no doubt, but you know, you can casually play against the bots, no problem.
Yep.
But yeah, there's a campaign, there's skirmish, there's challenge modes, like it all. So yeah, Ashes is a pretty solid RTS game. Mm-hmm. Moving on. You
have a t-shirt, too, of it, right?
I do. They sent me the dev team shirt, even though I'm not on the dev team, but they sent me, back when Stardock used to send me stuff. Now not so much, I don't know why.
No.
I'm not popular anymore. It's okay.
That's okay.
Here we go. This one. Any idea?
Civilization 16.
No, but it's called Hearts of Iron 4, released in 2016, alongside Ashes and Battlefleet Gothic. Hearts of Iron 4 is a game I like, that I want to like, but the moving things around in this game is too much. It's just too difficult. I don't know why. I can't just move this unit from here to here. I have to first do this and then click this. The interface is a nightmare, trying to figure out how it all works. Once you figure it out, it's great. But trying to attack or move things, or why can't I get my fleet to go here? How do I get my airplanes to move from here to here? Like, it's just, I've never fully figured it out despite my many hours of playtime on it. I love the teching I like of this game. I like that you can develop new styles of technologies, new units, and then start producing those units. But everything is done in a very complicated way, and it was too complicated to be enjoyable, in my opinion. I wanted to like it, but it's just its interface and its high learning curve turned me off.
Yep.
But I don't think you have much to say about it other than that, because I don't think you've played it.
I've seen people play it. I think I did play it on Epic. I think they have it for free on Epic. I think. I don't remember. But I played it, I got overwhelmed, I rage uninstalled, and that was it.
Well, fair enough. Next up, we've got, I don't have a music for this because it was, the soundtrack was, I think, composed by Christopher Tin, the same person that did Baba Yetu. I do know that his music is copyrighted, so you know what this is.
OTC.
Off-World Trading Company, released in 2016. This is a very much economic RTS game, where rather than build units and send them off against your opponent, you're trying to corner the market in all these different items and make your opponent go broke and then buy out all the shares of their company, and if you're the last company standing, you win, typically. There is a campaign mode, there's a skirmish. What did you like about this?
I can't consider this an RTS. I don't know why, but I can't. It's more like a time management planet city builder, I think. I don't know.
Your opinion is wrong, but that's okay.
It's my opinion. It's my wrong opinion.
It's a wrong opinion.
I love this game. I really, really, really love this game. I like trying to make the money. I like trying to build the buildings.
Look at all the money.
I'll be honest though, I don't like the whole tile placing, I guess, like the building placements. You have to get like certain things, like the same buildings, to be adjacent to each other, and sometimes you just can't. And it's so frustrating because I want to do everything and I can't.
Well, the game doesn't give you, they're called claims. Yeah. You only have so many claims per headquarter level up. Yeah. So you can only put 5 buildings down before you're forced to upgrade your headquarters so that you can put more down, but that costs resources. So it's, how do I corner the market? What do I go after? What's the price on this? You can buy and sell freely whenever you want. So it's a matter of figuring out what product is selling a lot of money and then producing that and selling it and then using that money to buy the cheap stuff. So you don't produce the cheap stuff if you can just buy it. You know what I mean?
I remember I played this so many times on easy, and I did really well. And then I tried to up the difficulty, and I got destroyed by the AI. So I'm not very good at this game. This is why you're the one that handles the money. But
wow, okay.
But oh man, I'm just so bad at like stock market and stuff like that. So this game is very challenging, but I find it super fun. So.
If you like the idea of an economic RTS with a fluctuating market, check this out. It's not bad. Moving on. Soundtrack for this. Any idea?
This is Super Mario World.
Yes. You can clearly see Mario and Luigi there on the screen hitting question marks.
I'm just kidding. It's Terraria, obviously.
Obviously, it's Ant Queen. So this game is Rusted Warfare RTS. It's 2017, this game, but it was designed to look very retro. Like old-style Starcraft, Command and Conquer style game, Not much to say about it. There's land, air, sea. Give it a look. If you like the idea of a modern RTS but with a retro look, then check this one out. It's decent. But we'll just move on from there because I don't have a whole lot to say about it. This one is I don't have any music for it, but I'll just say call me now for your free reading. Supernova, Escape from Hadia. This was released...
Oh, is it Supernova? Whoops.
Hypernova, Escape from Hadia, 2017. Nice. This is a base-building game where you start off in one corner of the map, waves of enemies constantly attack you, and you're trying to gather resources and complete other objectives. But the aliens in this game all are Jamaican, for some reason. They have a Jamaican accent. I don't know why, but it always tickled me. So, what do you have to say about this?
I actually love this game. This game is a lot of fun. I like the whole, I don't know if it's one building. Maybe it's just like the electricity, the generator or something, where it has like a huge radius and you can actually place a bunch of them to power up your buildings or something. Or is that a tower defense type of thing? I don't
No,
know.
there are buildings in this game that have a radius. The repair towers, for example, have to be the smog that is in this game. You have to put those down to clear the smog, so that you can then put buildings down later. Yeah, so there's like 2 or 3 sets of buildings that you have to place around everywhere so that you can continue to function.
Hmm. I liked it. It's pretty mindless sometimes. The only thing is that all the buildings start to look kind of samey.
Yeah, I
Even
lose
though
track.
yeah, like I love the graphics. I thought they're really nice, but it falls into those types of games where all the buildings look the same and you just lose track of all your buildings, like you said.
I like the game in the beginning and middle, but toward like as you expand, it gets to be overwhelming and too much. Like the game keeps throwing objectives at you. I'm like, when is this going to be over?
The
You know what I
map
mean?
is huge.
That's what I mean. Like, at what point am I done? Like, I feel like the game overstayed its welcome. Like, it just kept going and going and going. I'm like, dang. It's not on my list here, but Riftbreaker, at least you can set a definite end to it. I should have put that on my list, but I didn't. Anyway. So, again, there's so many games I wanted to add to this list, folks, but because of time, I can't. But the Riftbreaker, which was recently released from Early Access, is similar to this kind of sort of. It's like Factorio and base building together. This is more base building than running a guy around doing stuff. But
Is it RTS though? Like it's not RTS, is it?
real-time strategy, it can be. I mean, it's a top-down. It's more like an action RPG, maybe. The Riftbreaker. I mean, yeah, I can see that. There's some gray areas there, obviously.
It's weird, like everything that has a pause button is probably considered an RTS at this point. Oh look, it's Northgard!
Wow, I didn't even need to play the soundtrack for that. Here we go. Okay, so you are the big Northgard junkie. I like it, but what do you like about it mainly?
Dun, 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 dun. Okay, sorry. I was finishing the song. So,
Very good. Wow, so she loves this. You play it now more because of the daily quests or whatever, right?
I finished getting all the rewards though, so I don't really see the purpose now. But
okay.
it took a really, really, really long time, so there is a lot of time to be had in this game.
Northgard has a map. It's broken up into regions. It reminds me of Kingdoms a bit. The Settlers 7 Path to a. I was thinking of the title, the Settlers. This game reminds me of the Settlers a bit in the sense that you've got regions, different resources in different regions, but you're growing your faction, and there's like 8 or 9 to choose from. Again, a lot of them are DLC, but you can choose a faction. They have different abilities, different war chiefs, but primarily destroy the enemy.
This game, I actually was first interested in it because of the Settlers 7.
Mm-hmm.
So they're always updating it and patching it and balancing it. It definitely got a lot harder with a lot of the new features that they implemented.
There's a new roguelike mode or something, right?
Yeah, kind of. And then they have a new what was it? A new diplomatic feature, I guess. You can also put a spy into the other person's town hall, and choose different options of how you want to spy and like what kind of benefits you get from it.
When did they do that? Was that recent?
Yeah, that was pretty recent. You can also get now with the neutral mercs, I guess, the neutral factions, like the giants and stuff.
Yeah, the kobolds.
You can befriend them, and you have different tiers of relationships with them. And so for every tier that you have with them, you get stuff for it. And if you have a negative tier with them, they'll attack you more often, or they'll take away a certain part of your resource. So it's a lot more involved now. but it kind of makes it a little bit harder.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, if you play it correctly, a little bit easier.
Totally worth the money, in my opinion. You can get so many hours of playtime out of this. One match will take you half an hour, 45 minutes.
Yes. The roguelike mode or roguelite or whatever is actually a lot of fun. It's challenging, but it's so fun with friends. You're just all trying to complete it as one, like this huge challenge. And
are you meant to play it as a group though? Because like I tried it solo and it just wrecked me.
I don't think you're meant to play it as a group, but it is definitely one of the harder things to do.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I completed them all, and
of course you did.
It was very difficult. It was very difficult. There were a couple where I had to like rely on a few friends, but those were like the very, very, very end ones.
Fair enough.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, Northgard, totally recommended. Go check that one. If you like the Settlers, you'll like this. This one, kickin' soundtrack. Yes, they are billions. That is a game where you start off with just a town hall and a couple of soldiers, I guess, rangers, archers, whatever. And you need to build this base, but there's zombies everywhere. And after so many days, a horde will attack you. And then and after another days, they will just keep attacking you until the final day, in which it's a huge, huge horde. And you hopefully have built up a town with a bunch of defenses and technology to combat them, enough units to combat them. It's difficult though, because you could be playing for half an hour, everything's going fine. One zombie gets by, attacks a building, converts it, destroys it. 2 more zombies spawn. Now you've got this chain reaction, and now you've got 30 zombies and even more buildings that are under attack, and you can't stop them. One little mistake in this game, just gone. You're done. It's brutal. Really is. But it's still fun. You've played this before?
I've never played it, but I see you play it quite often. That whole one mistake thing really turns me off, and I kind of have no interest in playing it because of that.
Mm-hmm.
But I do actually enjoy watching other people play it. And it looks fun. Maybe if I watch more of it, maybe I would try it.
You can set the difficulty to very, very low, and to the point where it's like almost baby mode. So you could totally play it on that and not get frustrated. I would recommend that, honestly. But yeah, there's resources to manage in this game, but primarily your main enemy is time. In addition to the zombies, it's time. How quickly and efficiently can you build up a town and get these resources going to get the force large enough to combat this large enemy wave at the end?
There's an end game to it, isn't there?
There's last I remember, there's 4 maps. You can only advance to the next map if you beat the previous one on a set difficulty. Like, you must beat it on 65% difficulty to move on to the next map. You can play it on whatever you want, but you have to beat it on a certain minimum to move on. So, yeah, I really like They Are Billions. That was 2018 alongside Northgard there. All right. So, next up, I'm not going to get too much into this. There's also, the soundtrack is copyrighted. This is, do you want to guess?
Hold on, wait. This looks really familiar.
And
City Skyline?
And
Anno.
Yep. Anno 1800. Also adds up to 9.
It always looks like City Skylines to me.
I know it does. Not much to say about that, so we'll just keep going. I played Anno 1800, it's fine. But yeah, it takes a step back from the futuristic and goes back to, older style. This one is, again, I don't have a clip for. At least I don't think I do. No, I don't. So this is, Battlefleet Gothic Armada 2. This is the game I was referring to. It's better graphically, but they took away progression and skirmish, and now they just give you everything. Which is why I typically don't play it as much. I like progression. Give me a reason to keep grinding out levels. You know what I mean? I don't know why, I just prefer it that way.
Yeah, I think most of us do.
Next is a game that I do not own, but I played the demo of. It's Command and Conquer, but steampunk. Or, I'm sorry, Company of Heroes, but steampunk.
Oh, okay.
Any idea what this is?
It's the steampunk version of Command and Conquer, Company of Heroes.
Yes, exactly. It's Iron Harvest 2020. Not much to say about it. It plays and behaves almost exactly like Company of Heroes, albeit less good. So I never bothered I just felt that it wasn't worth it. In fact, it's funny. It's priced by default now it was $60 or so before. Now it's $15. Now I see it. I saw it on sale on Steam.
On sale?
On sale. Yeah, Steam on sale for 50% off for $15. I'm like, wait a minute. It was on sale originally for full price was $15. They lowered it to 15 or whatever. Now it's on sale for $15. What Steam does is they jack up the base price and then they put it on sale saying, "Oh, look, we've discounted it." But it's still the same price as it was before.
They do that in clothing stores all the time.
It's really so stupid. Yeah, it's stupid. Anyway, so Iron Harvest, we're almost done here. Moving on to the next entry. I streamed this once or twice, but Genius? It is Evil Genius 2. I don't have a clip of that either because, again, copyright. So, yeah, Evil Genius 2, like Evil Genius 1, you're a mad scientist. You can pick one of 3 or 4 bosses, something like that. You build an underground bunker. You go out on missions to get money, to lower your threat, to complete missions, and so on. You can capture agents of good. There's different factions of good that you can capture. But it's silly. It's like, it reminds me of like a 2 Point Hospital, but you're a mad scientist. You know what I mean?
I normally don't like playing the villains on any game, but this one was really fun. The gameplay was pretty captivating. I liked the building aspect. The only thing is that if you make a mistake in your building, it's kind of hard. Like, the UI isn't that friendly in, I guess, taking backseas.
Yeah.
Like, you really have to, I guess, know what you're doing when it comes to the building. But other than that, I thought the building was a lot of fun. And
I like setting traps and having the enemies set them off. That's fun. Yeah. But it's very James Bond-y, like the James Bond villains over the top, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what this game has, a James Bond vibe to it. But you're the evil henchman. Like Mini-Me, you know. Anyway. Last one on the list was released recently, and I don't have music for it, but I have this.
Oh, no. Is that Age of Empires 4?
It is Age of Empires 4. That sound you heard was the sound that is made whenever a villager is created. That has existed from the beginning of time. Jeez. I'm so far I'm liking Age of Empires 4. I missed the card system from Age of Empires 3, and I missed the other factions. Like, this game has, 8 factions or so? Meanwhile, Age of Empires 2 has, 20-some, 30-some factions. So, I feel like Age of Empires 4 here is, half a game. Give me the rest of the factions that 2 and 3 have. You know what I mean? It's missing the cards. To be fair, I think the game is fine without the cards, but I do miss the card system because I enjoyed that extra layer. Deck building, I love deck building. A lot of people don't like that. They were like, when 3 came out, they're like, what is this card crap? I want 2 was the definitive edition. Give me 2 again, you know?
I saw a lot of people complaining about the cards. I don't know why. I actually liked the cards. I thought they were nice. I kind of wish this one had something different that would pop out that was similar. Maybe with dice. Or, a match 3 aspect, or I don't know.
The developers saw how successful Age of Empires 2 was, and was trying to make a new one, like a remastered version that was a bit more successful and more accessible. In my opinion, that's what they were doing with this. Because, people to this day, Age of Empires 2, competitive PvP, as old as that game is, it is so popular. It is like the definitive Age of Empires game. But 4 is, like, I like how diverse the factions are. Just give me more factions, you know? Give me more to play with. But overall, I'm still learning the game. I'm still getting used to it. And I'm liking it. It's still overwhelming for people like me when I'm trying to manage 8 different things. But I actually want to continue playing it and want to keep at it. At some point, you'll play this too. But yeah. So that is it. That is the list. Finally, we're done. Yay. Oh, that was a long list. A two-parter podcast.
We still didn't even talk about Driftlands.
Well, all right, you have some on your list. You tell me, what did you have that you wanted to briefly talk about?
Just Driftlands was an island, I guess. Island hopping RTS.
Where you can physically, with magic, move the islands and have them connect and build bridges between them. What didn't you like about it? Was there anything that you didn't like?
It was challenging sometimes. If the AI had a one-up on you, it was very hard to make a comeback, I will say.
Flying units are the rage in that game. It's so easy. Just build a bunch of flying units and you've got it.
Yep.
It's very Majesty II-esque as well, where you have no direct control over anything. You have to set these flags.
They changed it. They changed it now so that you have an option now to actually directly control all your units.
When did they do that?
They did that a bit ago, actually.
Huh. I don't read patch notes, people. I don't have time, sorry.
Yeah.
But good to know. I thought it was just the one... I thought they created a faction where you directly controlled, and that was it. I didn't know that they actually removed the entire thing altogether. I thought it was just a faction.
It's an option. I believe it's an option. So you can either have it either or. At least I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong, but that's what I remember reading.
That's some big claims there, young lady. All right, what's up? What else is on your list?
Oh, wait. So keep talking about it. I'm going to look it up.
Wrong. Well, while you're looking that up, I guess I'll play some random music.
Go for it. Crap, I had that much time to look this up.
All right, move on to your next game.
Okay, my next game is Drox Operative 2.
You consider that real-time... That's more of a top-down action RPG, in my opinion. It's not...
Couldn't you, like, control more than one fleet or something?
No, it's just one ship.
No. There was one option on when you go to, like, a neutral, or like, one of your allies' planets... There's an option where you can hire a ship
to follow you around, but it's
in combat.
To me, that's more of like a companion in an action RPG. I mean, in Diablo, you had a companion, and you know, I don't know. Drox to me is more action RPG than RTS. But anyway, continue.
Majesty II ICBM.
ICBM is an interesting real-time strategy game. We didn't cover that here. It's a world. It's like, did you ever see the movie War Games with Matthew Broderick? There was a game that he played with a computer called Global Thermonuclear War. Would you like to play a game? And watch the movie, you'll see. But it reminds me of that digital war map where missiles are flying at each other and blowing up cities and causing havoc. That's what this game reminds me of. You can build up your own country. Continent, I think it is actually, and put missile silos and defenses and stuff like that. Technology. But what did you like about it?
ICBM, I liked... What did I like about it?
You just threw it on your list without any knowledge of what it was?
No, I remember playing it. I remember I was so frustrated with it because it was really overwhelming. Which one is the one that I'm thinking of that has, like, the AI gets stronger the longer that you stay in or the more troops you get in? I always get those two mixed up.
AI War 2?
Yeah, that one and ICBM I always get mixed up.
Was AI War on our list?
I thought it was. Didn't you explain that a little bit?
I thought I did. If it's not on my... It may have been a previous podcast, but... For those of you that don't know, AI War is, it's a real-time strategy game where you're just the humans against the AI, and the more you take over, the harder they get. I'm pretty sure I've explained this already, so I'm not going to go too deeply into this. But look at AI War 2 if you're interested. It's a pretty good game. Anything else to talk about?
Yeah, you're right. Only one faction has the units are managed directly. Dang it.
That's why I get paid the big bucks or not.
Yeah. That's why you're the podcaster.
No. I'm wrong more than I'm right. Any other games on your list?
Dwarfheim.
Dwarfheim. I don't remember that one.
Dwarfheim is the one where you have...
Is there 3 different classes of dwarf, and it's a co-op multiplayer where one person can be this dwarf type and contribute in a certain way, like a Factorio style thing, and this other one is a hunter. And
there's like a whole underground system.
Yeah, I didn't care for that game.
You didn't like that one?
No.
Oh,
I thought it was poorly implemented. In my opinion.
I think it was definitely rough around the edges with the controls and stuff, but I really liked the idea. I loved that someone had to work on the bottom in order to bring resources up to the top, and then the people at the top have to use those resources.
I like the different roles, like in an RTS, like it gives people defined roles to be. Like if we're playing an RTS together, I've got my own base building and army to manage. You've got your own base building. At least in a cooperative setting like that in Dwarfheim, you're responsible for 1/3 of the chain. I'm responsible for 1/3 of the chain, and it all contributes to one master thing. I like that. That's a cool idea. Anyway.
Yeah, I would totally play that again. It's really grueling sometimes, but I don't know. I thought it was a really cool thing. And then I have A Year of Rain. Do you remember
that is one? An action RPG. Oh, Year of Rain, or what am I thinking of? Oh, I'm thinking of Risk of Rain. What's A Year of Rain?
A Year of Rain. We played it once, and I think you rage uninstalled it or something because you really hated it.
Sounds like me.
Yeah, and it was a buggy hot mess when we played it.
You're selling it. You're really selling it.
I didn't mind it, but it really it reminded me a little bit of League of Legends, where it had like you had to like battle to the other side, I guess, and there were towers and stuff. But it's an RTS.
It's a MOBA. Was it a MOBA or what?
I thought it was an RTS.
All right. Well, it's called A Year of Rain, right?
Yeah.
All right. We'll look it up later.
Yeah. It was pretty... I thought it was okay, but the studios or whatever had to close down because they did poorly on their game.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah. It was whatever. You know, it was okay.
Wow, your entries are rock solid there.
I know. Rescue HQ Tycoon. I saw that was considered an RTS. I don't think so, but I put it down anyways.
Okay.
And then Deck Casters. Do you remember Deck Casters?
No, Deck Casters. I do not. Is that a card playing RTS game like Battleforge or what?
It was a card playing MOBA of sorts. I still think it's like a RTS though. Okay.
All right.
I think there's a pause button. I don't remember. But then there's Dustwind.
Never heard of it. I just because you know how many games I have and how many games I have to play. Those comments, rage.
Dustwind and Siege of.
Oh, you have it. It's in your library. You must know everything about it.
You have Siege of Centauri, right?
I have Siege of Centauri, and yes.
That's a good one.
That's more of a tower defense game, but
is it?
Yes, it is. Anyway, so yes, great. Let's move on.
Oh, okay.
To our, let's see. Oh yeah, Patreon and Twitch supporters. Thank you guys. I will go ahead and read off your names and the amount you contributed real quick here. Ratsy's pledged $135 for a lifetime of 4,715. Amazing. Scotty R, $100 for a lifetime of 2,610. Brian contributed $50 this month for a lifetime of 950. Greg Hal, $10 for a lifetime of 532. Mind a Lot, $5 for a lifetime of 135. Rip Alpha, $1 for a lifetime of 56. Alyssa Barrett, $1 for a lifetime of 15. I sent you all keys this month. Please check your emails. Let me know if they don't work. Merry Christmas. Twitch subscribers, White Knight, 44-month streak. Bessa702, 42-month streak. And Little Lily P, 12-month streak. So thank you guys for all of your support. It does mean a lot to me. It helps me to pay the bills and, even buy more games to help cover them. So every little bit counts, guys. So thank you. New releases, real quick. Battlefield 2042, $60. Farming Simulator 22, $50. War Tales 10% off, $31. And Skyrim Anniversary Edition, $50. On sale on Steam, Fall Guys 50% off, $10. Sea of Thieves 40% off, $24. Project Winter 75% off, $5. Second Extinction 45% off, $13.75. The Steam sale just ended, unfortunately. However, Green Man Gaming and Humble still have theirs going. I have affiliate links in the below description. Some examples from those sales: Green Man Gaming, Death Stranding 77% off, $14. Assassin's Creed Odyssey Gold, 83% off, $17. Farming Sim 22, 25% off, $37. The Last Stand Aftermath, 20% off, $20. Humble Bundle, Batman Pay What You Want deal. There's a bunch of games there. Back for Blood is 30% off, $41. Resident Evil Village, 50% off, $30. Deathloop, 50% off, $30. No Man's Sky, 50% off, $30. Last but not least, Spanish Sentence of the Week. We're just blowing right through this. Mike, it's a very short one. Let me play the right sound effect.
Shields up, go to red alert.
That's not it.
Proceed.
No. Oh, gosh, what is it?
These aren't my colors.
No. I got it. It was in between. Okay.
You could have just, hummed it. And you would have been...
No. This is tradition at this point. RTS. For those of you that don't know, she gave me this sentence to translate into English, and I somehow have to do it. RTS significa, well, it's not lover, because double L is a y, I think. Llover sudor de tortuga. So, RTS significantly...
Say it in Spanish. Say RTS in Spanish.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I didn't get to R or RT.
I love that. I love that you know.
And I know that Igliega is Y. That's all I because of how stupid Liglia. There's like 15 syllables in Igliega for Y. It's just silly.
So the last podcast had a very similar sentence, by the way.
It did. Well, I don't remember it. I have a terrible memory. RTS significantly loves sudor de tortuga. Okay, so tortuga is a tortilla. It's just Spanish for yes. So RTS's sudor is suitor. Like okay, so RTS's significantly love suitors and suitors that make tortillas. Is that correct?
Close. Very, very close.
Very close. I'll take it. What is it?
It says RTS significa llover sudor de tortuga, which means RTS stands for raining turtle sweat.
I don't.
That's what RTS stand for, right? Raining turtle sweat.
I'm immortal again.
What a way to end the podcast on turtle sweat. We're ending podcast 29 on turtle sweat. So there you go.
Sweat.
Turtle
sure.
sweat.
Why not?
All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed this follow-up to the last podcast. Stay tuned. I'm sure we'll get another podcast out to you at some point. Typically, we do these monthly, but if we can, we'll throw in a bonus one here and there. The more support we have on Patreon and Twitch and the like, the more money I get, more help I get from you guys, the more likely it is that I'll be able to do more of them. But I have a full-time job, and I need a full-time job to pay the bills. So the more money I get from you, the less I need to work. So help me out. Help me out on the internets and the Patreons and the Twitches and the internets and the AOLs and the .coms and the .orgs and all that stuff. This is Vincent Idley. Thanks for watching, and we will catch you guys next time. Take care.